Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a try on makeup haul where I try on several new products for you guys, and this was inspired by a foundation that I just picked up that I wanted to do a video on, but I figured instead of doing a separate review video on it, let's just include it with a bunch of new things I've picked up recently. There are a few things I've only tried once or twice, so it's going to be more like first or second impressions, and then there are a few things that I've tried multiple times and I know exactly what I think about them. Before we get into the demo, I do want to give you guys a product preview and show you everything we're going to be talking about today so you know what to expect. So we are going to be talking about the Ulta Beauty HD Soft Focus Liquid Foundation, which is brand spanking new. We are also talking about the Morphe 35F palette, two brand new Essence mascaras, the Ulta Beauty Dewy Makeup Setting Spray, the very infamous Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, the Catrice Prime and Fine Anti-Shine Blur Stick, the Catrice Prime and Fine Beautifying Primer. So without further ado, let's jump on into the demo. I'm actually going to go do my eyeshadow and eyeliner and brows and all that stuff off camera just because this isn't a tutorial, but I am going to be using the Morphe 35F palette. I'm going to come back and share with you my thoughts on this palette. So I'm back with the majority of my eye makeup on. I'm really glad this happened today because it's really going to illustrate what I'm about to tell you. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and show you what I'm looking at right now. So all this right here, all that is fallout from the 35F palette. So it's very fall oriented, I feel like. There are a lot of like berry, fuchsia, pinky tones in there, and then there are also some neutral tones. I feel like usually Morphe eyeshadows are very compact and they usually don't kick off a lot of fallout or anything, but I do feel like this is a different formula. For one, because I've noticed a lot more fallout with these eyeshadows. They are very soft and buttery and pigmented, but I feel like they're a lot more powdery than usual. I don't like the selection in this palette. I feel like there's not a lot of variety in here, and I feel like it's missing a lot. All these berry tones, like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, they're all so similar that they almost don't look different on the eyes. And then you have the gold shades. There are about 15 gold shades in here too. And then at the bottom you have these champagne beigey tones. They all look very similar. So yeah, I feel like this palette is nothing but a bunch of duplicates of one another, and I'm really disappointed. I do like the shadows in general, but I feel like with this palette I can't use just this palette. I have to go into other palettes. So I picked up a couple of new Essence mascaras from Ulta. I picked up the new Essence Rock and Doll Crazy XXL Volume Mascara. So here's what that looks like. Here's what the wand looks like. It is quite different. So as you can see on one side, on the bottom, it has longer bristles. And I also picked up the False Lash Mascara Dramatic Volume Unlimited Mascara. So it's just a cone-shaped brush. It is tapered. So I'm gonna be honest, I really don't like either of these mascaras. I will say I do like the False Lash Mascara a lot better, but I do feel like it's pretty messy. But with the Rock and Doll Mascara, I feel like it does nothing for my lashes. It just makes them separate a lot. Doesn't give a lot of volume or length. So I have already curled my lashes, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply 2 coats to each side. Okay guys, so here's 2 layers of both of the mascaras. Honestly, I haven't gotten this much volume and boldness out of this mascara before, but this actually looks pretty good on camera. It makes my lashes look really bold, but in real life, it looks like I've been crying and my mascara is all clumped together and messed up. This is a very, very wet formula. If it would dry out, maybe it would be better. Both of the mascaras have a tendency to clump, especially this one. And where they're really wet, they're very messy. I've got mascara all over my eyelid. But even though I said I like this one more, I think I actually like this one a little bit more, even though it's not much of a toss-up. I really don't like either one. On camera, this one looks a lot better. Okay, so this mascara for the lower lashes really isn't that bad, even though it is a little bit messy and it doesn't really separate them that well. So much product comes off on this mascara wand. It's like, it's ridiculous. Oh my god, this is not a good mascara for the lower lash line at all. Oh no. Okay, so moving on to the face, I have several new face products I'm very excited about. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is this primer. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Beautifying Primer. So here's what it looks like when you first squeeze it out. It's like a pinky toned. This just says soft rose primer with light reflecting pearl pigments and vitamin E instantly gives a luminous glow. The long-lasting silky texture illuminates and optically creates a more even skin tone. I have been really enjoying this lately. This just makes my skin feel really silky and soft, and it gives me a really nice like youthful radiance, and I do find that the glow actually shines through with your foundation. I don't find that it minimizes the appearance of my pores or anything. I just feel like it makes my skin look really healthy and hydrated. So the next product I want to talk about is another Catrice product, and I have heard several people talk about this and really love it. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Anti-Shine Blur Stick. So this just says it's an instantly mattifying primer with optical blur effect that erases pores and fine lines. So it's just a stick form like this, and you're just supposed to draw it on your problem areas. So my problem areas are my T-zone. I'm just gonna do one side real quick and just see if you guys can see a difference. So with products like this, you really want to like tap it into the skin to really fill in the pores. But I can see a difference in the side I applied it versus the side I didn't. As you can see, this side just looks a lot more blurred and softened. It kind of looks like it has a filter on it. But I mean, up close, I guess I can see a minor difference in my pores. But I'm just gonna keep this on one side of my face. I'm not gonna apply it to this side because sometimes products like this work better after you put your foundation on. So I'm gonna apply my foundation and we're gonna come back and look and see if there's a difference. So foundation time. I am very, very excited to try this foundation. But this is the Ulta Beauty HD Soft Focus Liquid Foundation. So there's what that looks like. So this foundation is $14 at Ulta. So I'm in the shade Light Warm. Here's what the texture looks like. As you can see, it does look a little bit thicker, but it is running. So it's kind of like a thicker liquid, but that looks like a really nice consistency. So I think I'm just gonna use a sponge for both sides, just because where I am testing out the primer too, like the blur stick, I just feel like I should use the same tool. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. Okay, so there's one layer, and on camera it looks pretty dang good, so maybe that's where the HD is coming in. But as you can see, this is definitely not a full coverage right off the bat. I guess I would say that's a medium coverage, but I can see my dark spots coming through on this side. So I don't know, I'm hoping that I can go back in and build that up. But I will say it does feel a little tacky when I'm bouncing it. It does feel like there's a little bit of stick and drag, but I kind of feel like I need to do a brush on this side, just to see which one gives better coverage. I think I'm gonna use a brush. Right off the bat, I feel like the brush is soaking up a lot of the product. I definitely feel like the finish is different. Like this side looks really radiant and dewy, and this side looks kind of dry, but I'm already gonna have to go back in and pump some more out. So I do feel like the brush is showing streaks, and especially on my nose. I feel like the foundation isn't adhering to my nose very well. I'm not liking the way a brush is applying this at all. Here's the side with the brush and without the blurring stick. So there's what that side looks like. It did cover up this area back here better, but I hope you guys can see there is a lot of streaks. Wow, okay, so here's the sponge side. So again, didn't cover up all this over here, but I do feel like the finish is prettier. It definitely didn't streak on me. Wow, this mascara is actually looking really good on camera. Okay, so there's another layer, and it actually doesn't look that bad right now. It just looks kind of heavy on my skin, but on camera it looks hella good. But I do feel like I got better coverage on this side. I don't feel like it's at full yet, but I feel like this is a high medium. So I'm gonna go back in on this side and build it up with the sponge, because I'm just not liking that brush with it. So I can already tell this is gonna be a very transferable foundation, just because it doesn't feel like it's actually adhering to my skin. But here's what this side looks like with 2 layers. I do feel like I've gotten full coverage on this side because I didn't have much to cover up. But as far as my pores go, I can't really tell a big difference. So I'm actually gonna let this sit on my skin for a little bit. I'm gonna see how long it takes to actually set and dry down, or if it even does. I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes and wait it out. So it's been a few minutes and I do not feel like this is gonna set. This feels so sticky and heavy on my skin. I have a lot of transfer on my hands. I've sat here for probably 10 minutes. It's just not setting. So next, I've been trying the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Yes, the infamous Shape Tape Concealer that everyone and their mother talks about. I got the shade Fair Neutral. This is a very nice shade for me. I really don't get it. Everyone talks about this being so full coverage and hydrating and long lasting, and I mean, I don't find the coverage is any better than my Maybelline Fit Me or my Master Conceal or my Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser. I mean, I really don't see what's so special about this, but I did see some people say that if you don't like it, don't apply a lot, like just apply a couple of dots. So that's what I'm gonna do so that I don't get any people saying you applied it the wrong way. Also, I really do like the applicator. You get this really big doe foot wand applicator. It packs on a lot of product, but I do want to swatch on my hand and show you guys what it looks like. So again, this is in the shade Fair Neutral. It's a really nice consistency. I mean, it does blend out easily. This is more of like a thicker cream consistency, but I mean, I don't really get it. Okay, so like 15-20 minutes later, this foundation still transferring, still feels very sticky. So we're just gonna have to powder. Okay, so there's my face set and ready to go. This is definitely one of those foundations where if you don't powder every single spot on your face, you're gonna feel the foundation and its stickiness in all its glory. So you gotta make sure you get every square inch. I can even feel it when I do this. I can feel it sticking in my neck. Oh my God. Oh, this is gonna be a rough day. So the last product, I swear this has been the longest video, is this Ulta Dewy Makeup Setting Spray. You guys know I love dewiness and glowiness. I have worn this a couple of other times before. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it the way I usually do. And this is the trick I do every single day after I'm done with all my makeup. So I do spray my entire face. The sprayer is very nice. It doesn't like overwhelm you. And then I go with my dampened sponge and just press all that into my skin. I don't really find that it makes my skin look really dewy and luminous right at first, like as soon as I spray it. I do find that my skin looks more dewy and luminous as the day goes on, and by the end of the day I do feel like it's super dewy and borderline shiny and oily looking. So if you have dry skin, I think this is going to be amazing for you. If you have oily skin, you probably want to stay away from this. Even though I do like how everything looks right now, I really do like the finished result. My skin looks really flawless. I do not recommend this Ulta foundation. I will say it does feel a lot more lightweight right now since I've set it with a setting spray and a powder. You know, I've gotten rid of that tackiness, but the feeling I had before I set it with a setting spray and a setting powder was just not very appealing. I just don't recommend this foundation to really anyone. I mean, maybe if you have dry skin, but if you have oily skin, But that is it for this try on makeup haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the style review. So thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe, follow me on my social media. All the links are below, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.